Welcome to HR Tuesday Tips with the Millers. I'm Lori Miller and this is Janine Brown Miller, and we're focusing on some HR sensitive topics and issues that we need to be aware of within our organizations. So today we're going to be talking about exempt and non-exempt classification. And Janine, why is this so important that organizations are paying attention to this and know how to classify employees accordingly? What's going on with that?
Okay, this is kind of a big issue for businesses out there, and I think so often people just want to classify positions as they'd like to, pay them a certain way because they want to. And this is exactly what this law is covering and protecting you from doing, actually. So let me start by explaining. Exempt is exempt from overtime. These are positions that are those that are salaried in nature. They are not paid hourly, and they're salaried because of certain criteria, and I'll get into that. Non-exempt are those positions that must be paid hourly based on criteria in the job description that requires you to do so. Such employees in this category must get overtime for any hours over 40 in any given week, and in excess of 40, I think you all know it's time and a half. So often employers feel they can just determine how they desire to pay, as I mentioned earlier. That's a big no-no. There's specific criteria through the Department of Labor Wage and Hour Division that actually directs this. So what should you do? Seeking appropriate HR expertise is very important to ensure compliance and accuracy and handling the steps and analysis required, because there's a lot to this. You begin by making sure you have a compliant, up-to-date job description that has very specific essential functions, and if you've listened to previous videos, you understand what that means. Essential functions is a legal term, and it does cover certain information that needs to be required. So you review the essential functions to determine how they fit into the various categories outlined in Department of Labor guidelines. Make changes necessary. There are significant penalties for noncompliance. For example, if an employee decides to report you and your pay practices and you're found to be noncompliant, they could go back several years, and they're going to use the employee's information to provide a penalty and back pay that you would be required to pay them for any overtime that they are accusing you of. So make sure your time record system is accurate and compliant. Some people are very loose with this. They don't understand there's right and wrong ways to keep track of pay, hours worked. And as always, you can contact us if you have any questions. Don't try to go out there and just think you're doing it right. It's very specific, and it's not going to be worth it if you get caught being out of compliance.
And I think it's a great time to take a look at your current job descriptions and seeing if you have the right classification. Critical. You got to do it because it's the right thing to do, but also there's going to be financial consequences if you don't. And then also some jobs change as the organization changes, your customer models change. So annually, you should be taking a look at those job descriptions, making sure they're classified appropriately and the essential duties in the job is actually listed on that. And it doesn't always have to be the HR person doing it. I encourage organizations to get their managers involved in the process, get their employees involved in the process, as far as what are the essential duties that they actually are doing and making sure it's reflected on the job description. So one, there's some changes. You got to make sure you're looking at the classification, but also making sure on an annual basis all the essential duties are specified in that job description.
And the other note of that is the audits out there are specifically targeting small businesses.
Yes.
Because they kind of believe you'll be out of compliance. So please be sure to pay attention to this.
Yeah, so if you have any concerns or if you have anything that you need support on when it comes to these areas, you know how to reach out for the two of us. We're now going to be segueing next week. We're going to talk about Generation Z, the new group of individuals that will be coming into our workforce in 2020. Want to make sure that you're prepared for that. So sit back, relax. We got this.